Hi.
Hello.
Yeah. Welcome all of you to join our gallery event today. So as our great media, KOL, influencer, and the best relationship partner, and also superstar. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, regarding today, I want to know, have anyone experienced Huawei wearable before? Have anyone? Oh, well, too much. I think Icon we can directly start in our social time. Yeah, let's continue. Go ahead. And regarding today, and welcome again for the everyone support us and coming. And I'm very glad to meet you again in this venue. And let us continue and welcome my best friend and my respect colleague, Icon.
Thanks, Alex. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, apparently, I have more fans, so I'll take it. How's it, everyone? Welcome to this exciting but very informal session. If you were expecting the popcorn and slushies, it's not coming. But we will have dinner a little bit later on. It's great to see all of you here today. It's considering everything that's been going on with Huawei over the last couple of years. It's really exciting, and it always gives me pleasure to stand in front of you and introduce new product, but also talk about where the brand is going, what we are trying to achieve, what's happening, the development and the progress. This is also always important. And I think for a technology company like ourselves, to be able to improve lives and enhance lives through technology, this is what we're all about and why we're here. So the fact that you guys take time out of your busy schedules to come and spend with us, it is much appreciated. So why are we here today? Of course, it's to talk about the latest and the best wearable that we have in the entry segment. But I want to touch a little bit about the continuous innovation and the history of wearables in general and what's been happening with this product segment in South Africa and across the globe as well. So Huawei traditionally invests loads of money in terms of research and development, not just in the wearable segment, but you guys are very familiar with between 10 and 15% of our global annual revenues goes into R&D. And just in 2023, last year alone, 430 billion rand was spent in research and development, and we have 140,000 active patents by the end of 2023. Now, for some of you that might have already seen the Fit 3, played around with it, saw pictures of it, you're probably asking yourselves, well, that design looks familiar. It couldn't have been too much of research and development going on there, right? But you don't reinvent the wheel. What you do is you refine it. And I think this is what's important, is finding something that works and seeing how you can improve on that. And that's where the R&D comes in. From making it slimmer, making it lighter, more comfortable, extending the battery life, all of these kind of aspects is what we focus on to enhance the total consumer experience. When we launched GT5 last year, GT4, this was extremely popular, and we've had 5 million plus global shipments of this one model. That has been absolutely incredible. And in South Africa, we've also seen immense success just by this model alone, and that's in the $200 plus smartwatch segment. And remember something, that historically Huawei didn't really play in that space. It was the Garmins of the world, the Fitbits of the world, and perhaps even Apple and a few others. We were a new entrant, and coming in as a new entrant, we came in with Band 6, Band 7, and those kind of devices. And suddenly you go from a 999 to a 1499 price point, and now you're selling a 6999 device. For you to increase 10%, just 10% in that segment is massive. And in most of the channels that we feature in, especially the sports retailers, because traditionally this is where these devices are sold, in the sports retailers, we have a 30+% market share, making us either number 1 or the second largest wearable brand in those spaces. So we are very proud of that achievement, but also we thank you for your support and your faith, your trust in the GT series. So today we have a new entrant to the family, bringing on the traditions, the heritage, And I think the design language, we spoke about fashion forward last year, very iconic messaging and design language. We were talking about wearables have become as much a fashion accessory as it is about fitness and health. And traditionally, people or many consumers often ask the question, why do I even need this? I don't care about fitness very much. I'm not a health freak. So, or even if I do go to the gym, these things are bloody ugly. So I'll use it to track my fitness and then come back and dump it into the cupboard. So I'm not going to use it to the office or an event like this. And these are the kind of things we realized, and we picked up on these pain points because it needs to be expressive. It needs to be an extension. If you're going to be using it that much and that long, you need to be able to quickly swap out bands or change the faces or make it look elegant, but at the same time lightweight enough so you can be able to go to bed with it. So it needs to be practical, but it needs to be absolutely stunning at the same time to express our personal fashion sense. And this is what we've thrown into the Fit 3. So let's take a look at a short video. Is that? Fashion squared. That's the messaging going forward. So the Fit series has had rectangular or square designs since its launch from the Fit 1. We have just now increased the screen real estate, made it much larger. So you've got an ultra large 1.82 inch AMOLED display on this, and it is bezel-less, 77.4% screen to body ratio. So we've taken what works, what our consumers love about the Fit series, and we've just put it on steroids. And the result is an absolutely stunning bezel-less device. It's also ultra slim, and I think that when I mentioned about refining something, this is one of the slimmest devices and most lightweight that's available on the market. Just 9.9 millimeters thin and coming in at 26 grams. Now, this is another pain point that many people have. We talk about sleep tracking, which is really, really important to your overall health and your health management. But if the device is really heavy, it's uncomfortable, you can't do that. So we wanted to make sure that it is comfortable enough to sleep with, but also if you're on a treadmill at the gym or you are having a run outside, it needs to be as lightweight and comfortable as possible. It's also really comes in really stunning designs and colors. So fluoroelastomer strap in white, and we also have a green strap. And of course there's going to be a multitude of different options and coming in from third parties, but also from Huawei ourselves. You have a one-click release button that you can just be able to snap them out and change them off. So once again, and I think it's really important, along with the faces, we as South Africans like to express ourselves, and this allows you to express yourselves a little bit more. And don't be afraid, it's not going to break the bank like some of the other brands out there. We try to keep it as affordable as possible. The all-new StayFit app. I know for those of you that have used the GT4, it was the first time that we introduced this functionality. Really letting you explore your fitness in different ways, and also managing your calorie intake. So it automatically calculates your calories that you've burned, but you can also input what you are consuming. And I think this is very important for you to manage your overall health, your fitness, but as well as your diet. So we've now taken that, which was reserved as a flagship functionality on the GT series, and we've now included it on the Fit 3 as well. I think it is important that we're looking at overall not just fitness but health management. And we have expanded that when it comes to the smart sports suggestions as well. And smart sports suggestions will be able to take that data, whether it is from your diet and your calorie input, to your exercise patterns and routines and what you do on a daily basis, what your target goal is, but also what's the weather like outside. And it makes recommendations on what your next workout would look like. Okay, so if you just were planning to go on a run, it'll perhaps say, well, it's raining, you should do an indoor run rather than an outdoor run. But at the same time, factor in your calorie deficit, if it is a deficit, I hope it is, for that week, and then be able to give you suggestions and smart suggestions. So for something that's coming in at this price point and really at the entry segment, and I think that is really important. If you look at wearable in general, there's quite a large barrier to entry, especially for stuff that has functionality like this. And we want to make it more accessible, and we keep trying to make it more accessible. It takes time to do that, but I think we finally got it right. Light up your rings. This is just a fun way in which you can be able to track your progress. To be able to give you that little bit of a nudge to say, well, hey, you haven't quite made it yet. Even if you don't need to go for a run, but just get up and move a little bit. Close those rings. It's a reminder, an everyday reminder that we need to be able to do that. So this is also something that's fun, exciting, and I think you're starting to see a theme here around design, fun, and then technology and innovation. All of these things coming together. And this is the essence of the Fit series in general. In terms of advanced technologies, I think we've always led the market when it comes to real accurate sensors. So whether you are looking at heart rate monitoring to SpO2, sleep, stress monitoring, whatever health factors, the latest TrueScene 5.5 has been included in the Huawei Watch Fit 3 as well. So you can be rest assured that you're always going to have accurate data that's synchronizing from your wrist to your device and to your medical provider if you have to, or just for you to be able to monitor that data. And I always like to make reference to numerous stories and numerous people that have used this functionality and it actually helped them from a health perspective. To give them the reminders. I mean, Cheryl, you shared the story the last time, and that was absolutely incredible that it helped you in that way. But I've had others as well that have similar experiences. So this is not just a nice to have, and I think that's another factor about wearables, because people who are not as active, somebody like myself, might have the question, why do I even need this? I don't go to gym, I don't run much, I'm not doing much. But it's these kind of people that it's more important to have the health functionality and those trackers on your wrist. Because if you are generally unhealthy, you're not going to know until something bad happens. So if you have something on your wrist that's going to give you that reminder and say, hey, get off the couch or you're going to be on a hospital bed. I think that's where you see the real use case. So when you look at something like the Fit 3, it's a device for everybody. And historically, fitness trackers or smartwatches has been for really the sports people or the fitness fanatics out there. But it's now evolved to such a stage that it's almost a necessity for absolutely every one of us. And it can really improve our lifestyles. In terms of the smart functionality, of course, you have Bluetooth calling, quick message replies, your calendar reminders, all of the usual that you've expected from the range of Huawei wearables that you guys have seen and familiar with in the past is also available on here. So, sitting in a meeting, I think, although you're still taking your attention away and looking at your watch, it's a little bit better to have a glance very, very quickly here, whether you're at dinner with a colleague or a friend or a loved one, than taking out your mobile phone and trying to see a notification, but then going through your entire feed at the same time. So these conveniences, the little conveniences that we take for granted, of course, is a nice to have, and that's also available. And then compatibility, I think, is really, really primary and important. Most smartwatches in the market are operating system dependent, so it's either only for Android or only for iOS. On the Fit 3, as well as with the rest of our range, it is broadly compatible with both iOS and Android. And that is a continuation here as well. And with all of this functionality and great features, another pain point is battery life. So 10 days of battery life on here for maximum usage and 7 days for typical usage. So I think this is also very, very important. We talk about sleep tracking a lot and how important that is for overall health. What's the point of having sleep tracking if your watch is on charge the entire night? And then you can't really track anything. So I think this is another area where Huawei is leading the industry, and we are very proud of that. So in summary, the Fit 3 is what you are here to see today, but more importantly, rather than just seeing it, and the session I know here is very, very short, but it was intended that way. That is why it's so informal. The point is not for me to speak to you and tell you all this stuff, because a lot of it you already know, either through experience from using other Huawei product, or you've seen it in the media already. You've seen reviews of it. International media has spoken about it. What is really important is that we can get these into your hands and you actually experience it for yourself. I represent a brand. It's my job to say all the nice things. Yeah? But it's really, really nice if you try it and you fall in love with it. That means so much more. And I think that is what we want, is we want all of you to try it and give us your honest opinion. Tell us what it's like, but also be fair in terms of the segment, the target audience, and what this product actually is, and the value you're getting for what the consumer pays. This is how we want to be able to assess that. If you want something else and something a bit more luxurious, well, we have the GT series, we have the Watch Ultimate, and we have other devices. But really coming in at 2,999 Rand, guys. That's what this device is, for everything that I've just mentioned. So we welcome you to try them, and I'm sure everybody's collected one already. So please give us your honest reviews, tell us what you think about it, and then if you love it, tell the world as well. But let's have a chat later on. I'm willing to answer any questions that you might have, and yeah, over the lovely dinner that we're going to have shortly. But before we move into that, there's some complementary devices out there that you guys have probably seen in the wild. The Pura 70 series, right? And Pura 70 is all about photography. It really shows the limits that we can be able to stretch. And like the previous generation, the P series, which is now being called Pura 70, we have set the benchmark when it comes to smartphone photography. It's always been that way, and once again we do that with our in-house X-Midge technology. So this time I just want to touch and talk to you guys about two aspects, the X-Midge as well as the photography capability of Pura 70 itself. So X-Midge is our in-house photography segment and department that fuses hardware as well as software capabilities and artificial intelligence to bring all together to give you the best point and shoot experience on a smartphone. And if you look at some of the photographs that's been captured on the Pura 70 series, these are actual real images taken on the device itself. They are absolutely stunning. So ultra lighting, this is super macro. Let's look at the detail there. The screen doesn't do it justice. It looks much better on the one in front of me. But you gotta try it for yourself to believe it. It is absolutely incredible. Full focal HD photography. There's some more examples here. And you can see this is with the zoom capability from 1 times up to 10 times. And being able to capture images like that is why we have the X-Midge Awards. X-Midge is all about enabling ordinary people or photographers to be able to get the best shots possible on a mobile device. Our ambition with smartphone photography and X-Midge more specifically is to enable every person out there to be a professional photographer. That without even having to think about it, you must just be able to take out your smartphone in any moment, because this is really what life is about, right? It's about moments. And you don't want to lose those moments. So you must be able to pull out your device and just snap and get the best quality pictures out there. So we have launched X Major Awards 2024. And we encourage all of you as well to enter. It's already opened up and submissions running till the 15th of September. So just follow our social media handles as well as our website for details. Try and capture the best images you possibly can. And this is a global contest with great prizes to be won. But I guess more than just the prizes is also that bragging rights and credibility that goes along with it. So look forward for X Major Awards 2024. And talking about awards, we have the Pura 70 series, which is an award-winning device. And just a couple of days after launch, it has ranked #1 on DxOMark, Pura 70 Ultra, the top ranking smartphone for photography ever, with a score of 163. Okay, so we're very, very proud of that as well. And what you would notice is that every P series device, going back right until from the P7 onwards, has at launch taken the top ranking on DxOMark. So of course, there's other devices and other competitors coming in between. And at that point, we've got an old generation, and then they will go take the #1 spot. But every time we've released a new generation device, it has ranked #1 on DxO. So I'm just gonna pass the handset around for those that wanna have a look at it, and you can experience a little bit of Pura 70. So this is a Pura 70 Ultra in vegan leather with a retractable lens. And this one is the standard Pura 70. Yeah.
Akram, how are we supposed to enter this competition
If we don't have.
if we don't have the phone?
I forgot to mention, correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, but consumer.huawei.com ZA/ZA, first sales have already started. I am kidding. There are devices, I think, available for review, if I'm not mistaken, and some of you would be on that list. But so you will be able to test that and experience it. So Cheryl, we can arrange that. And for the others, because let's be honest, we cannot. It's not always possible to give every person.
It's launched.